Hello. Good
What's
morning, good afternoon. Oh, fucking twat face. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another episode of the Robbos Gobcast Sports Show. And welcome to a new night for you guys, or afternoon. On Thursdays, we are now releasing this podcast for you guys due to football. Ryan has football, Matthew has a life, and I don't. So I just build it around them two. So that's what's going on there. So that's what we're doing every Thursday night from now on.
we let Mark in control.
Huh?
We let Mark think he's in control, but we all know the truth.
Yeah, no, I'm not. So welcome, guys, ever so much. Hope you guys have enjoyed the past couple of videos over the international break, where we just thought we'd do a bit of fun and games, but now we're back to Reading FC content. So yeah, how's everyone found the international break?
Boring.
Ryan?
There are no words to describe it. Most pointless thing in football.
Boring.
Well, it depends on how you look at it.
I'm trying to think of things I would rather do than watch England play against fucking Albania or someone.
Yeah, that game was a bit boring. I didn't really watch
Watch paint dry.
Do you know what? I still wouldn't listen to EPR. I would still rather watch England versus Albania.
Yeah, but I mean...
I'm off to a start of insulting people already.
Things I'd rather do than watch England against some third world country. Go for a really long walk.
I did that
feed
today.
The ducks.
That's quite fun, though. I quite enjoyed that.
Paint a picture.
Yeah, that ain't gonna happen.
Speaking of picture,
no.
Here's what I done. Here's what I done earlier during the.
So now Ryan has turned into Art Attack.
During the last international break, I done this.
Bullshit.
Swear down. This is my work.
Bullshit. I'm calling bullshit.
Don't believe me then, but I did this.
It's good. It's really nice, but bullshit, you did it.
I promise you.
All right.
I'll do one tonight for you if you want.
Yes, please. Send it in the post so I can hang it up in my room.
Right. Let me go and get a bit of paper.
No, you're not doing it now.
Why?
Because we do podcasts now.
Oh.
I know.
If anyone is listening at this point, fair play.
Yeah, no.
We haven't even fucking done an intro. So yes, welcome. So today we're going to do a roundup of the Royals in action. We're just going to have a little discussion about what the Royals in action have done over the international break, what it means to the Royals, what they did. We're also going to be talking about the upcoming fixture.
Barnsley game.
Barnsley. When we play them on Friday night, Good Friday, 7:30 kickoff.
Is that on Sky?
Yes.
In other news, water is wet.
Other news, Leeds are not in the Championship, so we get more TV time. So as we
it's actually 5:30, not 7:30.
Oh, was it a 5:30 kickoff?
Yeah.
I thought it was 7:30.
I thought it was 7:30.
It's 17:30.
That is 5:30.
On today's episode of teaching Mark how to read a 24-hour clock.
He told me 7:30.
I thought I read it as 7:30. Anyway.
Hang on.
Matthew, you might want to change your plans. Yes, Matthew, you might want to change your plans now.
Well, I'm gonna have to go earlier.
Yeah. So yes.
I've just seen who's reffing it.
Oh no.
Jeff Eltringham.
Was that the Sheffield Wednesday ref?
No, that was Jeff Eltringham's the one who was reffing when Tyrone Mings physically assaulted another person.
Which one? The Zlatan Ibrahimovic one or the Nelson Oliveira one?
Oliveira one.
All right. Because he's done it more than once. Oh, nearly scored. So yes, by the way, if I say, we nearly scored, it's because over here, the England game is playing.
Go
Man,
paint a picture or something. It's better than England.
don't disrespect England. We're gonna.
The
win
only time I
Euros.
watch them is in a major tournament.
We're
Other
gonna
than
win
that,
the Euros.
yeah, I'll watch it during the Euros because it's actually competitive games. I don't want to watch.
In the groups in the Euros, we've got Croatia, Romania, and Scotland. So
I
a
don't think-
country we're going up against a country that is basically probably the second or third largest city in England.
It's clicked.
Hmm.
Okay, Matt, he means Scotland is the third biggest city in England.
Baited. Let's see how many people bite from that. But before we get into anything, before we start talking about anything, down below in the description is a link to all of our social media channels. Go and click it. Go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. I'm talking before you fucking talk. So go and click the subscribe button, click the bell to get instant notification. Don't forget to go and follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud to get instant notification for when we go live. There was something else I was going to do. Before we get into... Yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, it makes a nice change this year that there won't be someone at home to put bins out for us. Normally, the Scottish have that job because they don't qualify. Have you seen that video on TikTok where it's like, I'd hate to live next door to Andy Murray?
No.
Have you seen it?
No.
It was on his Instagram story when Scotland qualified for the Euros, and now I'd hate to live next door to Andy Murray because he's just there and he just goes, "Yes, come on."
He's hilarious though. He does
No,
make me
he's
laugh.
not.
I've seen him on a League of Their Own. He's actually really he's actually quite funny. Right, let's do a round. Before we get into
didn't his own mum call him boring? On the
Yeah,
league?
he calls himself boring. He
Yeah,
makes fun of himself for being boring. It's quite fun. Before we get into anything, this is not Reading related, but this happened about an hour or so ago when we record this. England under 21s have been. I'm going to go on a rant. I think England under 21s have been knocked out of the under 21 tournament after losing the first two games. Then they had to beat Croatia by 2 goals, which they were doing, and then they lost. And then Croatia scored. Let's be honest,
Good goal.
Thunder bastard of a goal.
Very good goal, to be fair. But
Because we were watching it, the end. Well, you watched the ending with me anyway.
yeah.
Can I just say, right? I tweeted Ryan this. I don't know if I'm going to say this out loud, but I said that I tweeted it as well, saying AD Boothroyd is the most useless manager that's ever existed on God's green earth. Every club he's been to, he's been sacked. And he hasn't actually improved any of the clubs. I actually want to get a record of his up because I want to know how many clubs he's been to. Because I know at Watford he was unfairly sacked. Currently he has, since 2016, got a 64% win percentage as England under 21 manager. All right, so he's managed Watford, Colchester, Coventry, Northampton, then he managed under 20s, 19s, 20 again, then under 21. He's the most useless man. He's got a win percentage. Right, his Watford win percentage was 36%. Then he went to Northampton and got a 47. It's fucking useless. Anyone could with that team. Look at the players we had. Nketiah. We had, who the fuck was it? Conor Gallagher, Curtis Jones. I tell you what, AD Boot, who?
Eze.
Eze, who apparently wanted to go to Nigeria, but is now playing for the England under-20s, want to get in the England squad. If I was him, I'd go and fucking sign for Nigeria, putting up with that useless twat.
You don't sign for a country.
You do. He signs a 3-year deal, apparently. Oh, no, 3 international friendlies. No, you're allowed 5 international appearances before you can change international again. So he's playing a 4-game deal for Nigeria to AD Boothroyd fucks off. I did tweet Ryan this, and Ryan, should I say what I tweeted? What I said to you? I said AD Boothroyd is the same as Elm Park Royals. Fucking useless.
Oh no.
I don't care. A bit like Gareth Cleary.
For God's sake, I love
I want to comment before we go on anything. There's a certain. I don't want to say who it is, but they've released Reading stickers. Yeah.
In today's episode of Mark trying to piss off absolutely everything.
It's been a while since I've done a rant or moaned. It's been a while. I haven't done it. I think I've got all this pent up annoyance that I see over the internet. It's like your target audience is adults and you're giving them child stuff. You're not fucking Panini, so stop giving out fucking stickers. Yeah. Anyway, let's go on to international rounds up before I go get myself into trouble anymore. Let's go on to Liam Moore before we do anything. Liam Moore got his first cap for Jamaica over the break, where he played against Matt Maziga's. Well, he didn't actually play in the game at all. USA, where they played in Austria. And I want to talk about the Jamaican team, right? Because I looked at it and I'm surprised about how many players I know. So they got Andre Gray up front. I think it's Jamel Lowe on the wing. That Palmer that's at Leeds. Then Morris, not Leeds. Palmer that's at Sheffield Wednesday. I think he's been at every club in Yorkshire, isn't he? That Palmer, I think, as well.
Casey Palmer.
Yeah, him. Michael Hector. Then you got Pinnock, who I think is the defender that Ryan had for Brentford. Then you got Moore. Then you got Mariappa. And they lost 4-1. Yeah. Have you seen the US United States team now?
They got some promising players in there.
Clint Dempsey.
Pulisic,
He doesn't
McKinney.
even play anymore.
No, he's a fucking baller.
Yeah, he was though. He was. They got that Dest, that the Barcelona former Ajax right back.
USA have a possible World Cup winning squad just spread out over like 30 years.
They never have the right team at the right time, ever. They always seem to have like one good player and that's it. Yeah,
no, say that. Like, okay, next international break or the end of the season, I've just decided we're going to do a nations. We'll do 3 or 4 nations all-time best 11.
Wow, I mean,
so like England, you'd have like Bobby Moore.
Look at their team.
You basically have
Ziga, Tom Ream, Stefan, Dest. They got the Anthony Robinson. I presume that's the one from Fulham. I think he's played for them. Pulisic, Reina, the Dortmund youngster as well. And then I'm not even going to try and pronounce their fucking striker. Jesus. Just their team. Just a bit ridiculous, isn't it? What do you think that's going to do for Liam Moore? A question for you. Is it going to hinder him? Or do you think that it's good for him now to go out during the international break and carry on playing football? Open question for anyone.
I think it's good. Because international is a whole different ball game. It's at the next level. He's playing against players that are mostly above championship level that he would have played against in USA, most of them. So I think that'd be good for him. Good bit of experience. He'll learn to adapt to a new play style as well, which I think overall will just help him out. I think that'll keep him like sharp for the game against Barnsley because he's keeping up his like match sharpness because he's got more game time under him, whereas others wouldn't have in Barnsley's side.
Ryan?
Yeah, I think he'll do some good.
Good. That was a good chat there, Ryan. Next one, Romania. George to the puss to the Cass. He come off the bench in their first game in their 3-2 win against Macedonia. He then come off the bench against the 1-0 loss against Germany. And he starts tonight against Armenia, but he might not have finished it because he's just got sent off. Anyone, if please, I will try and find the video. Basically, the guy goes for a low header. So he's basically the guy sort of folded in half a bit to go for a low header. And he's headed it, but Puskas has gone on with his foot. So as he's gone on with his foot first, he sort of missed, slightly got the ball, but he's just gone into the player's head. And he got a straight red card.
Wow.
So what do you think that does? A question overall as well for like Puskas. With him going on international duty, Ryan, I'm going to ask you this. With him going on international duty, do you think that helps him? Because at the moment, he's not getting much match time for Reading. Do you think that's going to help him with his match fitness? He's just got his 23rd cap, I think, for the Romanian national team as well, at the age of 20. How old is he?
23.
Is he 23 or 24? I thought he was younger than that. Google it. Is he 23, 24? I thought he was 21, 22. I could be wrong.
Oh.
He's 24. All right. So do you think that the international breaks, as to some, is a hindrance because of the match shapeness and the match sharpness, sorry, and having a break could be good? Do you think that's going to help players like him to keep his match fitness up?
I think he's the player that needs to play. So I think for him it would do him some good. But I know what you mean. Like, for example, Jordan O'Beaton last couple of years, international break would not have done him any good at all because of fitness. I think Puskas will.
I think it's one of those. It's like Yeardom. If you take Yeardom now with Puskas, Yeardom needs this international break to sleep. And to heal every because he seems to be injured every 2 minutes, but it needs to be like that. But with Puskas, he needs to go out playing, which I think is very, very good. Matthew, gonna go to you. Alfredo Semedo.
Yep.
I can never pronounce this national team right. I'm gonna have to help you because you know how to do. Guinea-Bissau. How'd you say it? You've just started fucking eating as soon as I start talking.
Viscounts.
Who?
Viscounts.
So what is the international team that Semedo plays for? Guinea-Bissau?
Guinea-Bissau.
He got his first international start and his first international goal in their qualifying game against the other team.
Give it to me. Give it to me.
Eswatini.
Eswatini.
Eswatini, there you go. Them. And the 3-1 win with him scoring and former Royal Pele getting the goals. What do you think that's going to do for him? And what do you make of him this season in a Reading shirt?
I've liked bits and haven't liked bits with him. There's been bits where I've looked at him and thought he's a good player. He's added to our team and he's been really good. And there's been some parts where I thought that he may need to come off. Like, I feel like he's more effective when he comes off the bench sometimes than when he starts. In my opinion, I feel like though the international break, the goal again, I think it's going to keep him match sharp, and the goals are confidence boosting. If a player's playing with confidence, they just are in general better. So I think that the goal and the start for him will be a very high point in his career, and I think that he can take that to the Barnsley game. But yeah, no, I think on his day he's key. But I think that the goal in general will do him well, and I think he's probably a contender to be either starting, but definitely at least coming off the bench on Friday.
Ryan, I know that you're very much the massive advocate for Semedo. What have you made of him now going on these international breaks? He also played in their second game against Congo, where I could say that, that's fine, where they won 3-0. And they did score.
Democratic Republic of Congo.
Yeah, but what I screenshotted, it says Congo. So I'm going with that. So what have you made of Semedo as well? Because if you look through Twitter, because Twitter is a very reliable place, if you go through what people say on there, very mixed.
Yeah, he is literally the scapegoat of Reading. He could do okay. He's like Raphael this season. As soon as we concede a goal, all you see is people say, "For fuck's sake, Raphael."
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, there's Reading fans like let's go back to that Lewis Cook goal again. We conceded against Bournemouth, where he's absolute
the volley
thunder bastard it in the top corner from about 30 yards. No keeper in the world is saving that. And you see people, oh, for fuck's sake, Raphael. It's like Pele last season. When we first few games with Pele, you had fans saying he wasn't good enough.
Yeah, but I'd
like to know what them fans are saying now.
I was one of those that said I didn't really rate Pele to start off. He was very Mr. Inconsistent for me. Pele. He would have a batch of really good games where you could trust him in that centre midfield for like 5 or 6 games. And then he went missing a couple of games, but then he would come and bring it back. I think Semedo is a different type of player.
I don't think he's actually had a bad game for us.
No. I think the only way you could class him of having a bad game was against Stoke at home, where he had like 3 opportunities to score and missed them all. I think that was the header that missed it, or the keeper saved it, and there was a couple of chances. I think that's the only one you could really say Semedo's had a bad game. I think with Semedo, he's very much a different breed of player. And I mean that in a good way, because if you look at him, when he was at Forest, because Forest fan those players really well, when he was at Forest, he played as a central defensive midfielder. And when he was at Benfica, they basically played him as a central defensive midfielder. And he's very much been that, if we're going to go by Football Manager terms. Matthew, your room is so dark. You could just about see. That's a bit better. But it seems that with under Paunovic, he's seen something that Semedo can be a cam. And I think if anyone told us at the same point that Semedo was going to come in and be that second striker sort of thing, I don't think anyone would believe it. But to your point as well, Ryan, I think you're correct. And to you, Matthew, I think you're correct as well. I think he's one of those players that when he plays extremely well, he's one of the best players on the pitch. There'd be some games where he doesn't have a bad game, but he has that, I call it the Chris Gunter game. The Gunter game. Or does that 6 out of 10. Always that middle ground where you don't really notice him, but he does a job when he needs to do it. He doesn't have that consistency throughout the 90 minutes. But I think he's a very, very good player. And I think isn't it right? Ryan, you probably could tell me this if I'm right or wrong. But if we get promoted, don't we have to pay Benfica $4.5 million to keep him?
Yeah, it's obligation to buy if we go up.
Would you So if we don't go up, let's say we don't go up. Touch wood, it doesn't. We do, but let's say we don't go up. Would you still pay that $4.5 million to keep him for next season, though?
Yeah, I would.
Is he one of those players as well that you would build? I wouldn't say build around, but you've got Laurent, Reno.
He's been a key part of a very good midfield this season.
All right, I've got to ask this question. I didn't think of this. Is this the strongest midfield Reading have had? For how long would you say this midfield has been the strongest?
Time.
It's the best midfield we've had, definitely since we had Danny Williams and Ollie Norwood. I would probably even say that this midfield is better.
Yeah, definitely.
I would, just because of Ollie Norwood. Yeah.
Then before that, I'm trying to think who else you could say.
Could you class the second
Ledgerwood?
Yeah, but who was with Ledgerwood? Wasn't it Karajan?
Jumbo. Yeah. Karakan and Ledgerwood. Who? Okay, let's ask everyone as well. Who would you rather have? Laurent and Reno or Karakan and Ledgerwood?
Laurent and Reno.
Lauren Reno.
Yeah.
Any day. I think so
this is probably our best midfield since Sidwell and Harper.
Yeah, I think I agree with you on that one. Do you know what the thing with me with
Matt, you're too young to understand this.
Yeah, I was very young at that time, about 5.
I don't even think that you didn't even like football at that point, I don't think.
You weren't even conceived when that happened.
I was 5.
You were conceived because that happened.
Oh, that's wrong. That's just wrong. That's just wrong. All right. So I think I think Ledgerwood would get into any midfield that we've had since then.
Doing it now.
Right. Karajan, I'm going to get so much stick for this. I didn't really rate. And I'm going to be honest. I after his injury, he wasn't the player that he was before it, and you could tell now. Look, where is he now? League Two, I think, isn't it? Is he Scunthorpe now? He just seems to be a player. He's one of those players that he was a McDermott player. Do you know what I mean? You always have that one player that fits that manager, but can't do it anywhere else. Matthew, you look like you don't know what the fuck you're looking like, to be honest.
Well, because I don't really remember too much. I rated Carrot Jam. Can't lie. So.
No. You go for it. I don't care.
Yeah, I thought he was good, but then I feel like you're right. Like he suited the play style that was being played around.
Yeah, it's like
that's why I think you might have fallen off a bit.
This is why I look at that team, the promotion teams we've had. If you take any of the promotion teams we've had, like Sidwell, you took him out and he went to Chelsea and didn't really do much. And then he went to Stoke and then Brighton, I think. He went after that. So he didn't really do much. Sonko left and went to Stoke and did nothing. Hanneman left and, I don't know, he went to Wolves, didn't he? I think after he left us and didn't really do much. It's just one of those things where I feel like we get players that fit us, that don't fit anyone else. That I think he was one of those players. But I think as well, look, I think Elise is going to be an absolute talent. But I think if you take him out of the Reading team now and put him in any other team, he's going to struggle.
Mm.
And I think he's going to struggle. And I think, and that's with the utmost respect to him. I see a lot of Reading fans trying to compare him to Jude Bellingham. Not being funny, but Jude Bellingham is 20 times miles ahead than what Elise is to start off with. But so if you all right, so isn't Elise the same age as Jude Bellingham?
Jude Bellingham is younger.
Is he younger?
Yeah.
All right then. So if you took Elise now, would he, like Jude Bellingham is basically nearly starting every single week for Dortmund and the Champions League, and now he's in the England team and very close to getting in and starting on that as well. Do you think Elise will do the same thing if he went to Dortmund?
I think they're two different players in my opinion. So I think Elise wouldn't play the same position that Bellingham plays. Does that do you understand?
No, but would he get the same amount of game time as well?
No, because I feel like Dortmund aren't as strong in the position that he plays, but they are stronger in attack. If you look at like Sancho, Haaland and Brandt and Royce, that's the positions that he would have to contend with. Whereas Bellingham,
the one that would be challenging Brandt and wouldn't say no one challenges Royce. Royce is just anyway. But he's the one who would sit behind the striker. Do you think that with the way that Jude Bellingham plays as well, and he plays the same type of way, in a way that he likes to bomb forward, he gets the ball, controls it, passes.
Yeah, he's more like a centre mid though. I think he's more like at least he's more of a cam like winger. I think Bellingham's more of a like centre mid sort of player. That's why I feel like obviously I would say he's better anyway. I feel like Elise would struggle more just because of the competition there is more in the attacking positions for Dortmund.
Ryan, do you think? Okay, this is going to be a weird. I know we've had this conversation before, so this is a two-part question for both of you. But I'm going to go with Ryan first, and I wanted to get your take. One, do you think Elise will sign a new deal in the summer to keep him here? And two, if he doesn't sign a new deal, do you think he's going to be sold in this summer instead of going for a free like they've done with Richards?
We'd obviously rather than money.
I think that is an impossible question because there's too many factors to put into it. If we go up, I think he'll sign a new deal. If we don't, I think we'll sell him in the summer.
Okay, another question for you. I'm thinking this. I've seen a lot of people talk about this. Michael Morrison. Would you give him another 1-year deal, or would you start? This is going to sound. I don't know how this is going to sound. Or would you start phasing him out for someone else?
Well, you do both, don't you? You give him a new 1-year deal because he's still playing to the top, like a top level.
Mm-hmm.
So you give him another 1, potentially even 2-year deal. And then towards the end of it, whether it be next season or the season after, then you, rather than playing, until he got injured, he played every game this season, hadn't he?
Yeah.
And so you just gradually decrease that and get his replacement more involved until it gets to the point where, well, actually that replacement is now better than him. But yeah, what I would do with him is give him another 1 or 2-year contract and then get the John O'Shea deal and get him part of the coaching team.
Yeah.
Okay. Matthew, remember the questions I've asked Ryan, because they're the same questions I'm going to come back to you and ask you the same thing as well. Tom McIntyre.
I want to stop a sec.
Go
because we said a minute ago you were talking about that Giovanni Reina.
Yeah.
We're going back ages now because I've been trying to work out who it was. Do
He's
you
the
remember?
son of his. Yeah, I know the dad.
No.
For Man City.
Yeah. Do you remember? I think it was in the Champions League last season, Dortmund had a front three of Giovanni Reina, Haaland, and somebody else on the other side. Again, who was like 18, 19.
Dembele. At the time.
No, Dembele was a few seasons before.
He was 18 or 19 though.
Yeah, but not at the time.
Yeah, maybe Sancho you're on about. Sancho was only joined a couple seasons ago. He was like 18.
I think it might have been. But
do you know they had a front three of like 18-year-olds, didn't they?
It was Sancho then. It was definitely
they
Sancho.
had that front three, and all 3 of them were born in England.
Yeah, it was Sancho. Was one of them.
Yeah, because Reina's dad was the captain of Man City, if I remember.
Yeah, he was born in Sunderland. Haaland was born in Leeds.
Because his dad played over here for Leeds, didn't he?
Yeah.
At this certain point as well.
He's the one whose career was ended by Roy Keane, wasn't it?
Yeah. Quite brutally as well, let's be honest. Last question. Tom McIntyre. Take the Reading Academy, Reading born out of it. Would you give him another deal?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Or Matt?
I was wondering who you're asking then.
Would I give Tom McIntyre a new deal?
Mm-hmm.
Is water wet?
Oh.
Do you think he's been good?
Is the Pope Catholic?
Do you think he's been good enough to keep that, to stay and fight for a place? If we're gonna let's look at it. So Michael Morrison has been up there with the top 4, 5, with more as well, as the best centre backs in the league. Do you think Tom McIntyre has been good enough for either him or Holmes to take that position away?
Has McIntyre been good enough?
Yeah.
Does the bear shit in the woods?
You're just giving me fucking catchphrases. You're not actually answering the fucking question.
Yes. Tom McIntyre should have a contract for as long as he wants.
Why? Because he's a Reading Academy graduate?
Yes.
Matthew, go to you. Morrison, who was the other one? Who the fuck else did we talk about? McIntyre and... Who the fuck did we just talk? Elise.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go with Elise one first. Do you think he's going to sign a new deal in the summer? And if not, do you think we will sell him?
I agree with what Ryan said. I think if we go up, he'll sign a new deal. I think if we stay down, as much as I don't want to, I think the best thing for us to do is sell him, because I would hate to see him go on a free, considering I reckon we can actually make some good money off him that can be put to good use. I'd want him to stay, but he's at the point now. He's got all these clubs with their eyes on him. I've seen the speculation online. They've all got their eyes on him, and they're going to want to get him now while he's younger rather than wait. So if we go up, I reckon he'll stay another season. But if we stay down, I think it's best for us to sell him. Much as I hate to say that.
Who were the other ones?
Morrison, again, I think he's been quality all season. I think arguably just as, if not better than more, in my opinion. He's been putting in good performances and he's scoring goals as well. I think it would be stupid of us not to keep him for at least another year. And then, again, he can join the coaching staff and stuff. But he's still...
Wait, hold on. Ryan.
What?
When did you tweet off the account? I've just seen it. I've just seen it. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, I think it'd be stupid if we don't keep him for at least another year. Because as I said, I don't see him like... He's still keeping up. I think he's still at the top of his game, even though he's getting on. So, yeah, another year.
Can I just say you've done the poll wrong?
Why?
Because you've included Sidwell and Harper, and I wouldn't even include them.
Well, I included them.
Yeah, but you don't need to include them because everyone's going to fucking pick them. You need to go Sidwell and Harper, who's been the best midfield. Then you will find a better poll because everyone's going to pick Sidwell and Harper. That poll is just fucking useless. Delete it and redo it.
No, I'm going to ask you now. If that's so,
yes,
your little theory.
Because currently, Sidwell and Harper have 68% of the vote.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, but we don't want to know if they are. We want to know since them, not them. Oh, you're stupid. I'm deleting it. Stupid.
But there's 27.8% of people who don't want Sidwell and Harper.
Yeah, but, yeah, I know that, but you don't want to. We're talking about since Sidwell and Harper, you dumb fuck, who has been the best midfield.
I'm just going to let you two fight this out. Do you want me to just come back?
Right, I'm deleting it. Re-fucking do it, because that was terrible.
You have your first domestic?
No, we normally have a domestic every time. We have a domestic every time. So what was the name? So what was the midfield? So it was Reno and Laurent. Then the other one was Williams and Norwood. What was the last one that you put? Karajan and Ledgerwood, wasn't it? Are you just not talking now?
No, I thought you knew.
No, I didn't. I'm actually asking you because.
Oh wait, so you're saying all this and you don't know?
Oh, no, because you picked a stupid one, you dumbass. Right, Williams and Ledgerwood, and the other one was. I think
Tanner and Cool.
You dick.
It was Craig Tanner and Aaron Cool.
How'd you spell Karajan anyway?
K.
That's weird. I can't lie.
UHL.
You're such a. It's not Aaron Krul.
Yeah, no.
Fucking
Aaron
his
Krul.
career's gone down the pan, isn't it?
It's Aaron Cool.
His career went right down the pan.
Craig Tanner. What about Ryan Edwards? He should go on the poll.
I'm pausing you. I'm pausing all of this because you're annoying me, and I need to work out. Right, and we're back. So Ryan, please don't play the music because they're now really checking for copyright. Please don't. We're back. We've re-edited the poll on Twitter, so go and check that out. We've changed it up. So okay, I'm not even going to answer that question. So someone's put something in the group chat. Ryan, just go check it and sort them out. So yeah. So go do that. Stop fucking playing music because we get copyrighted and it makes me edit the thing and I can't do that. So yeah, so we're back. So we're going to go on to now. We've done international and certain players. We're now going to go on to Barnsley game coming up Friday night at 5:30.
Yes.
7 o'clock as we've found out. At 5:30. So basically, it's quite interesting. I found it because they had a manager at the start of the season that then left. I'm sorry for laughing. Ryan just wrote a comment that just got me. They had a manager at the start of the season. He left and went to Red Bull, New York Red Bulls.
Yeah.
So he went there and they were a bit 50-50. They gave us a lot of trouble in the first game. And we all said on this podcast after the game that they're a good team until they got that red card and then just went downhill. Ever since then, they are 2 points ahead of us at the moment. They've played 38 on level games played, won 19, drawn 7, lost 12, a +7 goal difference, which is joint with 9th place Middlesbrough as goal differences, and they're on 64 points. They are currently 3rd in the form table over the previous 6 fixtures. They have won 4, drawn 1, lost 1. They scored 11, conceded 6, goal difference of +5, and they have 13 points. Reading, in the previous 6 fixtures, are currently 6th. Where we have won 3, drawn 2, lost 1, scored 8, conceded 4, and got +4 on 11 points. We're currently 2 points behind them in the form table. Very close sides, it looks like, at the moment, going forward. But I want to talk about before.
I want to say first. You were just saying about up until their manager left. They've looked at different teams since then.
Yeah, this is what I want to get into.
Yeah, I've just looked. Take the first 11 games out of the situation, I think. They're 4th in the league.
Jesus. It's quite interesting because if you look at the Barnsley manager, I can't pronounce his name, but he had a really staggered playing career. He started at Strasbourg, played 87 times. He then moved to Crystal Palace in 1998. He played 13 times, but then immediately in 1998 moved to Lens, where he played 83 times. He then went back. He went on loan during that time to Strasbourg, back to the team that gave him his start, where he played 9 times. He then moved permanently in 2002, where he played 26 times till 2004, where then he went on loan during that time to Werder Bremen, where he was on loan with them and he played 32 times. He then moved to them permanently in 2004-2005 season, where he played 32 times in that season. He then got his big money move to Bayern Munich, where he played 31 times and got 0 goals. And in that time, he then moved. I don't know how they do it in Germany, but he moved to Bayern Munich 2, where he played 7 times. And then he ended his career at Hanover in the seasons between 2007 and 2009. He played 18 times in 2 years. In total, he's played 338 first-team appearances, and he got 18 goals. Let's move on to his managerial career, which is quite... Looking at his percentages, it's quite fucking good, actually. Where he was the manager of Hanover 96-2. For 2 years, he played 49 games, won 24. He had a 48.9 win percentage, where he had a +28 goal difference. He then moved to Wolfsburg 2 in 2013, where he was manager of them for a year. And in that year, he got played 36 times, 123, got a win percentage of 63%, which is fucking amazing, especially in a year. And he had a goal difference, I can't believe I'm actually, of +56. They scored 85 goals, conceded 29. Unbelievable. He then moved to Nuremberg in June. He managed them for 14 games. It looks like he got sacked. He won 4, drawn 2, lost 8. He had a goal difference of -11, where he had a 28% win percentage. He then went back to Wolfsburg 2 the year on from when he left, and he got a +63 goal difference and a win percentage of 62%. We all know. And then he managed the first team. It looks like for 17 games, it looked like he didn't do very well there. He got a win percentage of 35%, and he got a -9 goal difference. He then seemed to move to Apollon. It looks like he went to Greece. He joined in May. He left in that August. He played 1 game, lost 1-0, left. I don't know what happened there. Then he moved to LASK, where he was manager for between May and July 2020, where he had played 50 games, 131, a plus 45 goal difference. Looks like he's found his mojo then, and then got a 62% win percentage. And now at Barnsley, I just want to read out his record currently at Barnsley. It's amazing. He's played 34 games since he's managed Barnsley. He's won 21 of them, drawn 3, lost 10. He's scored 46, conceded 33, plus 13 goal difference. He currently has a win percentage of 61%. Reading's overall record.
It looks like he's doing a very good job, doesn't it?
It looks like it, doesn't it? Especially getting Barnsley that was meant to be in the relegation zone. I think we all predicted a team that Barnsley, if they got with the manager they got at the beginning of the season, would be maybe mid-table, just under mid-table side if they got all the right players in. The Reading's record against Barnsley is we beat them 31 times, drawn 20, lost 26. The previous 5 fixtures against Barnsley, I don't know if I want to read this because this feels like I'm going to jinx something. We beat them 3-0, drew 1-1, drew 1-1, beat them 2-0, beat them 2-0. So, yeah. I think I might have jinxed that. Ryan, I'm going to get your take. What have you made of Barnsley this season in particular, and where do you think the threat's going to be from them? Sorry.
I think I've been very vocal all season that even before we played them earlier in the season, I said they were a good team.
Mm-hmm. I think we both agreed on that we thought they were going to be a difficult side to beat.
How do I describe them? At the moment, I am putting them in my accumulator pretty much every week because I would describe them as an absolute sure thing.
I'm going to jinx this game even more. The last time Barnsley beat us was the 25th of March.
Shut up!
2014.
Just be quiet. Just stop talking.
I've got to give the people the stats.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
You don't.
Yes, I do. 25th of March,
quiet.
2014.
No, what you're saying is, anyone, if you want to know the stats, just fucking Google it. Just Google it.
Giving the people what they want.
They don't want it.
They do.
They want to win, not
your negative jinxing attitude.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've done it in every game so far this season.
Friday, it is your fault, cunt.
Can I just say, the guy that scored for Reading in that game was Pogreniak, and he scored a...
Oh!
I'm actually looking at their team to see who scored from, if I know any of them. No, I don't.
Right. No, okay. Who's their dangerous players? They've got Alex Mowat, who can absolutely hit a ball from anywhere. They've got, is it Connor Chaplin, the striker? Is pretty decent.
Woodrow is currently 7th top scorer in the championship.
Yeah. They've got Callum Stiles, who is a good left back, I believe.
Yaku Mate is the top 13 with 9 goals. So the top scorer at the moment is Ivan Toney with 28 goals. Pookie's second with 22. Armstrong is third with 19. And Gel is 4th with 18. A question for you both. Lucas Gel has been getting a lot of stick recently, either by fans or by people saying the lack of movement. He seems to have got, as Liam Moore said in the A.D. Williams podcast, he seems to let his head take control of him and sort of give up. What do you make of what do you make of the comments, and what do you think of the Gel situation? Whoever wants to answer first, it's up to you.
You go first.
You mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's not going to answer his own question, is he?
Yeah, true.
I mean, he would if he could.
He would if he could.
He loves the sound of his own voice, doesn't he?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love it. That's why I do a podcast.
I feel like it's unfair because he's been a very big and key part of this season. And I feel like he, again, is a player that when the fans are behind him, he has more confidence. So I think that the comments for me are unfair because of his contribution this season. At the end of the day, he scores goals. He may have the odd game or two where he's not quite at his potential and then his head does drop. I feel like that overall, though, he's, for me, up there with player of the season, because without him, if you take his season overall, when have we had a striker? I think we spoke about this the other week. When have we had a striker score as many goals as him in the season? I think it was Shane Long we came to the conclusion.
Yeah, Shane Long. No, Jan Kermigan
didn't get as many goals.
Lucas has scored more goals than Jan Kermigan did.
We haven't had a striker like him since Long, like getting on goal wise. So I feel like the comments on the fan, I feel like that if we get behind him, I reckon he's going to be key on Friday because we need to win.
It's interesting because if you look at the goal stats, the last person to score over 20 goals for Reading in the season was Shane Long, where Zhao is 2 away. He's the only person that has scored more than Zhao since then. It is Long. Ryan, I go to you. Do you think that what type of striker would you class Zhao? We class him as a target man, a big man up top that you pass the ball to and let him do the work. But what type of person do you think he is? Do you think he's a confidence striker where he needs people behind him and give him a hug? Or do you think he's someone that is like, fuck you, I'm going to prove a point?
I think he's a bit of both.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely think he's a bit of both in the sense of like, I think he is a confidence player in the sense of like, okay, I kind of see it as someone like Jimmy Kebe, where you could see he'd run at a defender, and if he didn't beat him the first 3 times, his head just drops, and he's just there to make up numbers and doesn't really offer much. But on the other hand, we've seen it. What was the game I'm going to use for an example?
Preston.
No, was it Coventry, where he tried to do a skill on the defender, didn't work, and then tried it again 5 minutes later, and he went and scored from it. Was it Coventry?
I don't know. I think that wasn't that Bournemouth or Forest?
Yes, Bournemouth, because he absolutely because was it Steve Cook ended up on his
Rosette falling over?
Yeah, that was it. He tried it 5 minutes earlier, didn't work, and then he went for it again, and obviously it did work.
What do you make of the new system, both of you? The new system that seems to have Gel with a strike partner. Do you think that that's playing for Gel to make him have someone up there with him to help him out? Or do you think that because of the run of results that weren't going our way at that point, that Paunovic needed to change things up? What do you guys think?
I think change is good. I think that if something's not like, they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if it's not working, I feel like the change can, because obviously like teams will look at Reading and if they expect one thing and we go in with a different game plan, it's going to shock them. And I feel like we've got a team that's strong enough in depth, and they seem to have picked up our manager's play style quite quickly, that we can afford to do that and actually still perform at a good level. So yeah, I think it was definitely needed, and it's worked.
So I'm looking at stats here.
I think about what you just asked. I think this is the first time in quite a long time that we've actually clearly got a plan B.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Look at like the last sort of 5 or 6 managers. Stam refused to change.
Yeah. Badly.
I'm not going to really count as like
Paul Clement just didn't even have a plan A. So
Clement was just vibes. No skill, just vibes.
Hasn't he been
Stam refused to adapt. Clark didn't really have a plan B. Like even McDermott, we didn't really have a plan B. But the thing is, plan A was just so effective. Same with Coppell. But this is the first time where okay, I've said it so many times in earlier podcasts we've done this season. I see a lot of Bielsa in Paunovic.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we're slowly getting there. I don't think we're quite there yet. But what I said earlier in the podcast, like go back and watch it, but whatever. But there was an interview in 442 magazine with Kamar Roof, and what he said Bielsa's tactics, their training, the way they could set up a game to play 442, and then 3 minutes into the game they could completely change the formation, the whole setup in 3 minutes, and everybody would know exactly what they're doing. And I think we're slowly getting there with Paunovic.
Okay, so let's take our biased heads off for a minute and let's look at this. Let's try and look at this pragmatically as we possibly can. Do you guys actually think we will finish in the playoffs?
I think if we win tomorrow, yes. If we don't, no. I think tomorrow for me is a decider. If we're playoff, like I think tomorrow, if we can win tomorrow, I think we'll get playoffs. I mean, yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. I know what you meant.
Yeah, I'm not going to say it because Mark always moans at me.
What?
Well, it's not tomorrow, is it? It's the day after.
Shut the fuck up!
Exactly.
Oh, you always just tomorrow, people. I promise you. So, Ryan, what do you think?
See, right, I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. I'm more confident knowing that we have a more difficult run in.
Why? Because people are going to bet against us?
No, I think the underdog status kind of suits us a bit more.
Yeah, we're not a very good team that comes in being favourites.
Look at our history in terms of games. Like, we do well in games we're expected to lose. And, like, for example, this season, look at the teams we've lost to. We lost twice to Birmingham, they're shit. We lost to Coventry, they're shit. Mm-hmm. Like, there's more games, I think the current, like, squad, the whole setup, I think it's easier to motivate players for a bigger game. And I think we have players that suit big games. Okay, we might not have them back from injury, but Swift is back in training. That's going to be like a new signing.
Yeah, he's apparently could be back on the bench.
Yeah, Swift and Morrison, both of them will be like new signings.
Yeah. I've got a question for you both. If we don't make playoffs, would you class this season as a failure?
No.
No, not at all. It's the start of something very promising.
I agree. I'm just saying, I'm just going by what I'm seeing, what other people are putting.
No, not at all.
If anybody said this season was, okay, as Sky say, all of the eggs were put in the promotion basket. If that was the plan for this season, you're lying.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't.
We knew under Bowen last year, Reading wasn't a overnight fix. It's a process. Look at the players we've got. We've got a young squad. You see Paunovic as well. All season, you've had players in and around the first team. All the squads are training together. If you're good enough, you're old enough. And we are really building for the future. If we get playoff, you know what? Compared to the start of the season, at the start of the season, if you'd have offered me 12th place, I'd have bit your hand off. The only reason that you would say that this hasn't been a successful season if we finish out of the playoffs is if you looked at the table in December, which obviously you're going to, but no one expected that.
Yeah,
I agree. I think people have to really, and I try and put this on Twitter and I try and put this in different places where we are last season compared to where we are now. I think I said in the last podcast as well, we are closer to the relegation zone last season, points-wise, than we were close to the playoff last year. So for us to make up that points gap just to get to the playoffs, in me, is an achievement for itself. I do hope in a way that we give not a long term, but I do hope we give Paunovic a long-term contract to a point of maybe a 4-year deal where you go, right, this is your team. This is you. We're not going to change you. We're not going to get trigger happy. We're not going to get anything like that. Your team, we build it for what you want. Pick a player you want. It looks like it could be a lease, but I think he's more, as what Courtney said before, a short-term fix to a long-term situation where the money we get for him could help build out this team for the future. I think if you're going to build a team around anyone, I don't think they're going to build it around one player. I think they're going to build it around Reno and Laurent. You look at what Reno and Laurent do, and then you build around them. They're brick walls, so then you need brick wall behind them and get people that can bomb on around them, like the fullbacks or the wingers and the people behind the striker. Zhao, as good as I think he is, I don't think he will be here past the summer. I think with his form and where he's going, I think if we don't go up, I think he will be gone. And I think Puskas will be gone as well. I think both of them will. I think due to Puskas' lack of playing time, and I think with the form he's in, I think it's going to come through another breed of strikers that we're going to have to go through as well. I don't know. I really do think that in my head, my heart's telling me I want playoffs. I want to see this club in the Premier League. I want, when we all can get back to football, go to a football stadium and go and watch Premier League football at Medeski Stadium. But my head's telling me it's way too soon for us to get promoted. Way too soon for us to get promoted.
I completely agree with you in that. Like,
look, the reason why I say this is because it's going to go like what Fulham did. And that's why I say I don't want this to happen. Because when Fulham first went to the Premier League and they got all that money, they went fucking ape shit. And then look what happens. They just did not do anything and then went down. I think we would do the same because we haven't got the depth or the lack of things of doing it. We're just going to spend on players just for spending's sake, where we're not going to be pragmatic about it. Where I feel like if we start building and do it like what Brentford do to a certain point, because I don't agree with majority of things that Brentford do, because I think if they didn't do half the things they would be in the Premier League by now. So in my opinion, they would be long gone in the Premier League playing Premier League football. But I feel like if you take it essence of, look, Elise is not going to be here. Let's make sure that we either get the right money for him or sign him for a long-term deal. Zhao's not going to be here for a long time. His injuries are going to keep catching up to him and he's going to become a reliability again. Yedom, there's lots of positions that we'll go through in the summer that I feel like we need to go for as well. So, yeah, I hope we do, and I hope we don't get playoffs. Matthew, what do you think?
No, I think I agree with what you say there. Like, if we don't get playoffs, I will be massively disappointed purely because of how good the season's been this far.
Yeah.
We've been out of the playoffs for 2 weeks this whole season. And if we don't finish in there, like, it will hurt. But regardless, it is a massive, massive overachievement.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. So just before we finish off and we all can get on and Matthew can go and eat food. Finally can go and eat his food after we've kept him for a long time. Predictions. Matthew is currently leading in the predictions table as he guessed that it would be a draw. So he said 2-2, but it was 1-1, so he gets a point. Everyone else got 0. The predictions coming up, I predicted a 2-1 win. Adam predicted us to lose 2-0. Ryan predicted us to win 3-1. And Matthew predicted a 1-0 win going into this game. So that's what we're going to go for. So, yes. Ryan,
you told me earlier that you were changing it, though.
No, I don't change shit.
No, just say what you said. Don't change the predictions. But
What,
just
change
tell
what I said to you on the phone.
say what you said on the phone earlier.
Oh, I said on the phone that I think we'll lose 2-1.
Don't say that.
Oh, but I have a history of when we say we lose, we actually win. So
Keep saying that.
Don't say that.
yeah, but
Don't say that
I said that
either.
at the time as well, and we still carried on fucking winning. When I said we'll lose, it was just one of those things. That 106 season, I predicted every game that we would lose, and I did it on purpose so we would win. And then actually, the one game I predicted us to win was the Luton game, which we lost. Anyway,
Just scored.
who scored? Ah, Harry Maguire. Oh no, or John Stones. Well, the camera's just panned into Harry Maguire, so I don't actually know what's going on.
It was Maguire.
Was it Maguire? Well, John
Yeah.
Stones is getting a lot of credit as well. Oh,
Yeah, no, because he kept the ball in.
Outswinger, good ball. What's a header back from Stones? Fucking ball! He rocket that in. That was a thunder bastard of a goal. Fucking, he's got a sweet right foot. Oh, keeper should have done better. Fucking shit keeping. Thank you guys ever so much for joining us. Ryan, thank you ever so much for coming. Matthew, thank you ever so much. Thank you ever so much. Your insight has been very helpful for both.
I reckon from now on you should go into his room and do the outro from there, both of you together.
No, because that's too far over there. I have to fucking move. And that's just not going to happen. Right. Thank you, guys. We'll probably do it next week. Thank you, guys, ever so much. Don't forget as well that Adam will be doing a podcast with him and David for you guys Monday, where they will be reviewing the Barnsley game. So go and check that out. Don't forget as well, next week is WrestleMania week, which means there will be 3 podcasts in the week for you. You can shut the fuck up now. Where we will be doing a preview to Stand and Deliver NXT. We will be then doing a review, and then we will be doing a preview to WrestleMania for night 1 and night 2. And then on the Monday after that, we will be doing a review of WrestleMania, and because then I will need to catch up on fucking sleep. So yeah, so thank you guys ever so much. See you guys very, very soon. My mouse has decided to freeze. That's fucking fun. And thank you ever so much. Bye.
I love you.